So Ledgestone historically has a lot of added cash.
It's the richest person disc golf.
This year, I think it was close to 50,000 added, something like that. Their total purse was like $93,000 for MPO and FPO. So how that broke down was it was just straight up on the percentage of how many men there were and how many women there were. So the MPO purse was 76,000 and the FPO purse was 17,000.
Which
that breakdown is perfect.
Yeah, it matches up to the percent of how many people were in each division based on the field total.
Yeah, so the
82%.
82% were men. They got 82% of the purse. 18%.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets a little criminal. FPO winner Katrina Allen gets $1,700, which was 10% of the purse.
Right.
So she got 10% of the FPO purse, approximately. It was a little bit, I guess, technically less than that, but $1,700 even, about 10% of the purse. MPO winner Ricky Wysocki, I don't know why I said his name weird, got $6,000.
Yeah.
8% of the purse.
Yeah.
So, which the FPO field size was smaller, so that's probably why like Katrina got 2% more of, higher pay rate, whatever you want to talk about that. But that's probably just the field size breakdown thing. But in general, if they were on the PGA Tour,
yeah,
if the PGA or if the Pro Tour adopts the PGA Tour payment breakdown, Ricky would have got $13,745 for winning.
Because that's what, 18%?
Yeah, it's 18%. And Katrina Allen would have got $3,144 for winning. So
you gotta
double both of them pretty much.
Winning one of these events, just like, and this is another thing like that just keeps going along our narrative that the Pro Tour needs to be like for the big dogs only.
Yeah,
like winning needs to be like big time money. Some of these top players, like, they've got serious contracts with their manufacturers. Like, they're making in some cases over $1 million or like a lot of money, So guess what? $6,000, boop, little drop in the bucket.
Yeah, it means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing to them,
But
I feel like even if you're like
I elbowed the table if you were listening on.
Even if you're like a mid-ranged golfer that's doing like, okay, $6,000, like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but like it's not like crazy. Like $13,000, that's a lot of money. Like, that's more like that just changed my year a little bit kind of money.
Because this is the thing to me is whenever I bring this up, people always get upset with. They're like, why would we want to make it top heavy where the rich get richer? Talking about like
because the rich have earned it.
Yes, but I also want to bring up if we go back a little while ago, we have Colton Montgomery winning DDO.
Yeah.
In order to get this payout, right, the PGA payout, it requires $0 more added, and it's really not sacrificing that much.
No.
Like, if we look at the last cash, an MPO would have gotten $150 instead of $287.
Yeah, it's like...
So we're talking like a little bit of hundreds here and there, all the way up the leaderboard.
Yeah, so that the guys that are winning get more than double their money.
Yeah, and so if you're a player like Colton Montgomery, who you're, on tour, you're... a top 30 player, 50 player,
at least top 50.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So you deserve to be on tour.
Yeah.
Okay. You would have a tour card if there was tour cards.
Right.
And you could look at him and his salary, if he has a salary from Discmania, it's not going to be as big as a top 5, top 10 player.
No.
So if he wins one of these events, 6,000, that's pretty good. 13,000, holy cow, here we go.
Yeah, that might be like a third of what his salary is.
Yeah, that could be like, shoot, all right, now I can play 3 more tournaments stress-free.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. $13K, like, especially if you're kind of on the road disc golfer, you win a couple of those a year, or maybe just one of those and then a couple like top 5 finishes, and you kind of like can keep yourself afloat.
Exactly. Like, it changes the whole structure because now it's not like, okay, well, I can just grind it out, finish in 20th place every week, and I'll be okay. Yeah. It's like, if I can win 2 of these,
yeah,
just 2. If I can win 2 tournaments, I'll get 30. And this is, literally 2 of these tournaments. You're almost 30,000 a year.
Yeah,
winning 2 events.
The wins
that changes everything.
The wins have to be so much more money than like second place even.
Which this breakdown, first to second, was decent.
This one had a decent drop.
Yeah,
it was like 6,000
to 4
to 3,900 or something like that. 3,950. That was a decent drop. That's what I want to see. Wins so much more money than anybody else. Like relatively, that like winning is like people want it really bad.
Yeah. So like coming into the last hole, because right now in golf, right, in actual golf, ball golf, when you come down, there's some putts that are worth 6 figures.
Yeah.
Or more. Like if you miss that, it's worth 6 figures. Like Right now in disc golf, it's like, oh, I chained out $150.
Yeah.
Oh, I chained out literally $50 if depending on where you're at.
Yeah, which
It's
is
like,
we understand it's relative. Like, yeah, disc golf, there's less money, but if you look at the percentages, it's still there's a lot of disparity. Like,
oh yeah,
like disc
well,
golfers,
we just showed that. Freaking
yeah, exactly.
6,000 to 13,000 with adding zero added. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
It's just the percentages.
We don't need more sponsorship money. We don't need Nike to come in here and rescue the day or nothing.
Yeah.
Change the percentages, and the top is now getting 13,000.
It would be great. It would be
We've
great.
talked about the bigger breakdown. You know, it's not just the rich get richer. Even the middle of the field, there's some people that were showing a little bit of increase in the middle of the
Yeah.
field. Second and third place were showing increasing.
And
like,
yeah, the whole rich get richer thing is dumb because the rich, you know, the Rickies, the Pauls, them, like they weren't like born rich.
yeah,
They've worked their way to the top of the game and they're the best in the game, and that's why they make all.
I've
the money.
also seen recently like Hannah Macbeth tweet stuff about this or like similar stuff, and people have come after her, which, you know, her one thing, but they come after Paul,
Yeah.
saying like, well, you know, even your husband can't speak on this because he's living a different life. How the heck do you think Paul got here?
Yeah.
You want to literally tell me that when Paul was first starting touring, he was already making the kind of money he's making? No. Paul started right where all these other players started. The difference is the players that have been on tour as long as Paul is the amount of work that Paul was willing to put in, because Paul was the first disc golfer, I'm gonna say ever, because I don't think there was another one. Climo, I wasn't around the Climo era, so I might not be able to speak towards Climo, but Paul has been the first disc golfer, and Ricky is one of the other ones in the same category and has led to Eagles, Kevins, other players like that. But Paul has been, in my opinion, the first disc golfer that took himself as a professional athlete.
Right.
Like treated himself, his schedule, what he put into his body, the amount of training he did, like he was a true professional athlete.
That's the reason he won 4 straight titles before other people got caught up, you know?
Yeah.
He got out ahead of people.
Exactly, because he was the first one to say, hey, you know, yeah, right now the money's not great in disc golf. When he started, the money was even worse than it is now.
Not good, yeah.
So, you know, back then it probably didn't make sense for players to put in the amount of work Paul put in.
Yeah.
But Paul just did it because...
He was just banking on it.
Yeah, not even he was banking on the money. He just did it because he knew, I can be the best at this.
Yeah.
And so he does a lot just because his drive to win is ridiculous. And that's just something that I don't see currently out of a lot of players.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few guys.
More and more now that they're following Paul and they're seeing that he just signed a 4-year, $1 million guaranteed contract. Like,
I think
now we're talking, you know what I mean? But
I think there's a lot of guys who become pretty successful to where, yeah, they're living comfortable, they're playing disc golf, and they get complacent.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
But my thing is, you can't look at Ricky and Paul. Because really, let's think through this. Other than Ricky and Paul, I mean, there's not really any other disc golfers that are like...
Nobody's dominated.
I mean, I'm sure like Simon and Eagle are like living, like making good money, period.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, those are guys who are living comfortably, but don't like seem to have that like I need to win instinct. To
Eagle's
where
getting there.
Yeah, I mean, he's winning more, but is it because he's, you know, putting in
I
the
guess
work?
that's
I
true.
don't know. It's tough to say.
But I'm saying contract and money wise. Like,
Yeah.
you can't say that those players, the players who have made it,
Right.
okay, you can't say that their opinion on stuff like this doesn't matter because they aren't currently living in that situation.
Yeah.
Their opinion to me matters way more than the player currently living because they've gotten out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
They've done the ride with buddies to events. They've done the sleep in car. They've done the split Airbnbs, which back then would have just been a cheap hotel room 4 ways to be able to play this event. They've done it to the point that now they're getting these big time contracts. Now they have all of this.
Right.
So to me, when you're looking at a situation like this, you can't say to Hannah, your husband's opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if anything, Paul's opinion on this matter holds way more weight to me, and I hope to other people, than anyone else's. Because like he's made it. If anyone has an opinion on what the payout should be and what this should be and that should be, we should be listening to Paul because, you know, he can look back and be like, yeah, I remember grinding it out. It was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I should have been doing this. And Paul will. I at one point I wanted to be a touring pro. I was like, heck yeah. I was a freshman in college, sophomore in college. I was getting good fast, and I was like, this is my life. I'm ready. So I talked to Paul. I'm like, dude, what?
I remember that version of you. There's a lot of bright future in your eyes.
I talked to Paul, and I was like, so what's my plan here? What do I do to do it? And he said, don't tour.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? He's like, play your local scene, kill your local scene, get to where you're winning everything by a ton. He's like, and then test the waters.